Going live. How's it going, folks? If anybody's in there, pop in and say hi. I just got in a little while ago. I was out there carving a tiki. And the worst thing about harvesting an old log that's been sitting around for about 20 years, there's a few nails that were pounded into it. And it really sucked when my chainsaw hit those nails, man. I saw the sparks. So I resharpened the saw and then I started cutting into that tiki wood again, and more sparks. There was more nails, so I had to resharpen again. But anyway, I got through it. I ended up pulling the nails out, and yeah, that really does suck. It's hard on the chainsaw, the chain, and that was on my newer saw. But I carved it with the smaller saw, but I had to make the bottom of the cedar log flush. So I'll post a video of it so you can see what I'm talking about. And there's still a nice fair bit of that log left sitting on the ground on the far side of our property there. And so I'm going to cut that up tomorrow and haul it over, and I'm going to carve another tiki out of it. Cedar is interesting. It's Western red cedar. Latin name is Thuya plicata, and it has natural oils in it like redwood. So the outer side, the outer skin can be really rotten, this much, and then you get into it, and it's like solid hard wood, and it smells really good too. So carve me a tiki there. I posted some pictures of it on in my groups on Facebook. Anyway, we got a good day here on Salt Spring Island. It's around 7.5 degrees. The low temperature was around 6.3 degrees Celsius. Current time is 3:15 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, Benjamin, how's it going? So this is just kind of a last minute thing here. We got a friend coming over for pizza today. So we had oysters for lunch. I posted a video on the other YouTube channel. Got some had some nice fresh oysters today for lunch, and put those in. When you're doing oysters, there's a good way to do it. This is the way Wendy does it. So I do it that way now too. So you just crack a couple of eggs open. I was in the city. Right on. There is no city around here, Benjamin. Where we live is very rural. So their city is a long, long way away from us. What's that? Wendy was just in the city. She just got back a couple of days ago. She was in Vancouver. So yeah, she was over in Vancouver visiting her son. But yeah, when I did the oysters, you crack a couple of eggs open, fresh eggs, into a bowl, and then you get a bowl of flour. You dump the oysters one at a time in the eggs. You whip up the eggs, you beat them up, and then whisk them up, and then put the oysters in the eggs, and then you take the oysters out and you put them in the flour, and then throw them in the cast iron pan. And man, what's that? Yeah, Wendy put a bit of herbs with it too, but man, it was really good. A little bit of Himalayan salt. So yeah, Benjamin, I guess you went to Montreal, right? That's what I was thinking. I thought you were living in Montreal. So yeah, the closest city to us would be Victoria. And Victoria is really not a big city, but that's on another island. So there are no cities here in the Gulf Islands, just a village. We don't even have a town. Our town of Ganges is a village. So yesterday, Wendy and I went up to our friends Scott and Susie's place. They just live behind us now. They just moved here from the mainland Friday. And what we thought were palm fossils in the sandstone rock at his place are actually cephalopod. Cephalopod is a prehistoric squid-like creature, millions of years old. Hey, how's it going, Sandor? So because they did look like palm trunks. So what I took pictures of these things that we thought were palm trunks. I thought for sure they were palm trunks. Hi, Sam. How's it going? So I posted them in this fossil group on Facebook, and a couple of people come by. They said those are cephalopods. So cephalopod lived during the Jurassic era, and they were a giant squid. So, which means Salt Spring Island was underwater at one time, because on tops of our mountains you can find fossilized shells and other sea creatures, which is cool. Would Victoria be a bit warmer than? No, I don't think so. It's well, you know what I mean? Maybe right around the buildings, it probably would be, yeah. But there's not really a lot of big. Victoria is much different than Vancouver. There's not big high rises everywhere, so I don't think it's too much difference. Yeah, that's pretty cool, eh, Sandor? So I'm gonna have to go back up and shoot another video totally explaining. So I thought they were palm trunks. I got all excited. I shot a video of them, and then I changed the name of the video. So they're cephalopod, and you can Google prehistoric cephalopod. It is a giant squid-like creature that lived millions and millions of years ago. One of them said over 200 million years ago. One guy said on a local site said 70 to 80 million years ago. So I'll have to do more research on them, but they're big. These things are really wide, and they got lines in them. So we thought for sure they were palm trunks, but there are palm fossils on Salt Spring Island. We ended up getting 2 inches of wet snow, and it rained. Oh, cool. Rain would wash away the snow, but it also makes it heavy if you have a lot of snow. So, yeah, here the low temperature was just over 6 degrees Celsius, and it's 7.5 out there, something like that. Minimum temperatures and maximums really aren't that much different. There's sometimes they fluctuate 2 or 3 degrees. The best microclimate would be great mule palms since they look, yeah, they do. Yeah, ours seem to be doing well. We have a couple of mule palms in the ground, and then I have more in the greenhouse as well. But I don't know, man. I think a bad winter is going to probably nuke those babies. So by keeping it dry with a plastic bag over it, I'm hoping to increase its hardiness and actually put on a little bit more growth when the sun hits it at this time of the year. So it was kind of a drizzly day today, but when I went out and carved the tiki today, it was actually quite nice, and it didn't rain. And then we went to town and we did some oysters today. And then, like I say, we got somebody coming over for pizza. A friend of ours is coming over for pizza. We're making homemade pizzas. Wendy's got everything ready for pizza. Is coming for real this time next. No way. Whoa, 3 Fahrenheit, -10. Batten down the hatches, eh, Sam? That is 3 Fahrenheit is cold. Calls for 3 Fahrenheit with mine. Wow. 3 Fahrenheit would be about -16 Celsius, I think. Something like that. And yeah, with the wind makes it feel a lot colder. Although it doesn't actually doesn't make the thermometer temperature get down, but it makes it feel a lot colder. So -10 would be cold. And it's interesting. I was talking to somebody in the park on Friday that moved here from Ontario. This is their 3rd year on Salt Spring Island. And yeah, they said that's one thing they don't miss is their face is freezing off in the icy wind with the wind chill. It never happens here. There's no cold. You don't feel a cold wind chill. You know what I mean? Like it does feel cooler with the humidity on a cool day, but you don't get the wind you don't get the biting icy winds that ever freeze your face off. That just doesn't happen here on Salt Spring Island. You know what I mean? So you can get by with working with a sweatshirt outside in the wintertime on the cold days. Yeah, wind chill. When I lived in Langley, Sandor, I know what wind chill is too, because we used to get Arctic outflow winds coming from the eastern Fraser Valley, and it was brutal. I remember being so cold out there with the wind chill, my mouth would freeze, and I had a tough time actually talking because it was cold. Never experienced that here on Salt Spring. We don't get the cold wind chill like that. Yeah, wind chill is harsh. I wonder if this time we'll actually have, because we have gone 13 with polar was supposed to be coming a month, but it didn't. Well, hopefully you won't get it, Sam. I'll tell you what, the lowest temperature we've had here was around 31 degrees Fahrenheit all winter. Okay, so we're actually a zone 9B winter still, but winter is not over yet. I mean, it could still get cold in February. Generally by mid-February, I say mid-February, we're in the safe zone. We could still get dumped on with snow. You know what I mean? I've seen us get dumped on in snow in March, just when you think winter's over and you got these nice days, and then you get this cool air come down from Alaska and mixes with that warm, moist Pacific air and gives us a dumping of snow. And gardeners have been going gung-ho. Like at the grocery stores now, they got racks of flowers out there, cyclamens, flowering bulbs, primulas, this and that, all the stuff we planted this time of the year. And people go gung-ho in the gardens here, but it really cools their optimism when we get a dump of snow or some cold. Mid-March. Early March, yeah, 8 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I've never seen that here, but I have seen snow here. You know, the latest I've seen snow here in April, man. I think it was, I'm just trying to think. It was quite a few years ago, many years ago. We had a skiff of snow in April. It never got that cold, but we did have snow in early April. When is the last frost? Last year, generally it's in February or early March for us, Sandor. I think last year was late February. And usually by mid-March, you're done, right? So I'm going to say usually early to mid-March is usually the latest for us at this end of the island. 6C. Yeah, our low is 6. Our low is 6.2 degrees Celsius, Benjamin. Snow gets very well April. Yeah, we don't. It's very rare. I've only seen it once. The latest snow I've ever seen, I mean, the earliest snow I've ever seen on Salt Spring would have been about a day before Halloween, a little skiff of it. And it did get cold too. That was in 1984. And then in April, I'm just trying to think when that was. It could have been it could have been the year of 2008. It could have been April 2008. That was a really weird year. We had a really cold December, like about a week in December was really cold. And that earlier that year, I think we did actually have snow in April. A little bit. Was last winter harsher than normal? No, last winter was fine. It was normal. It was a normal winter. The coldest temperature we had one night was 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So no, it was a normal winter last year. And then we got some snow. So if it goes below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, then it's not really normal. But it's rare that we ever get below 20 in a really, in a bad winter. Our nighttime low is -20. Wow. You got to wear some warm clothes for that, Benjamin. Yeah. So no, it's been normal. Sam, our winters here at this end of the island have been normal since December 2008. We've had nothing below 20. 13, Sandor. Not too bad. So 13 is around minus 13, minus 13, minus 13 degrees Celsius. So that's around 8 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Something like.
You sub to a guy, it's permaculture. He's doing a live stream now.
Somebody's doing a live stream?
But I'm talking to him because he's showing his cedar baskets. He's on one of the other Gulf Islands.
The nerve of Wendy. She's following another live streamer, and I'm her
but he's talking.
guy, and she's not following me.
No, but he's also talking. I've commented, right? And
she's not commenting on my
he's
stuff.
He's giving you a big, that's Banana Joe on Salt Spring Island.
All right, well, say hi to him. Say cheers and aloha.
I did.
Yeah, Wendy's actually following another guy's live stream.
He's live right now.
Yeah, it honestly, it never gets that bad here. The winters, even the worst winters, aren't that bad. I'm a cold heart. Yeah, you're a cold hardy. You're a cold hardy dude, man, Sam. I don't like cold weather. As I get older, I dislike it even more. Like I used to be an avid skier, so I'd be up at Whistler and I'd do all the Vancouver Mountains and Mount Washington and Manning Park and Mount Baker in the States in Washington, but I don't really care to go up in the mountains anymore. I don't like it. I actually can't stand it. I don't like cold weather in the winter. This is too cold for me even. I'd rather be on Maui right now. But you know what? I can function in this. Hello, a camel who likes Coke. So that's why I'm really hoping we get back to Maui in the fall. But with these new rules and regulations, they're saying people that come back.
Inviting you to see this tall eucalyptus tree over there.
What's that?
He's inviting you to come see a huge eucalyptus tree. I think he's on Pender.
Well, he's on Pender Island.
So
Wendy's, well, there's big ones here too. Yeah. We got the one at Garden Fair Nursery. You can't even get your arms around it. It's massive.
Yeah.
It snowed here, Palm Tree Dude. Yeah, but it probably didn't get that cold. So Wendy's following another live stream right now and saying so. She's a traitor. She's not following Banana Joe's live stream. She's following Banana Bob's live stream.
I'm multitasking.
She's multitasking.
You're live.
I'm
Joe's live. I can hear
I'm live. So she's following another dude right now.
So kind of got one.
Ooh, that hurts. I got a pain right in my heart, folks. That's okay. I'm just teasing. I took a video of my plants and cool. Awesome. Right on. I'm going to have to check that out. I like the looks of palm trees in the snow, actually, and it doesn't hurt them, really. How could she do that, Sander? That traitor. The guy's on actually a neighboring island. He's on Pender Island where my pal Marina lives. My pal Marina Nelson lives over there, and I used to go to school with her. I used to sit beside her in math. She'd be on my school bus. So I've known Marina since the 70s. I want to make sure at least some bamboo can survive unprotected. Well, you could try some. What you got to try is the Hardy's bamboo, Benjamin. Philostachys oreosilicata is a good one to try. Oh, so anyway, up at Scott and Susie's new place, right in behind us here, you should see the size of their Philostachys nigra black bamboo. They got lots of bamboo at their place, and lots of palm trees. They got New Zealand flax. They got grevilleas. They got Australian mint. They got tons of exotic plants in there. The last guy was an exotic plant, huge stand of bananas, and Scott is a palm nut. So he's going to rip out all those ugly boxwoods. Boxwoods are going, and Scotty's replacing them with palm trees. He's got a truckload of palms coming over from his place just south of Vancouver. The place is going to be full of palms. Yeah, I think some will work good there, Benjamin. Most of my plants, palm tree, bigger use. Yeah, and I'll check it out, palm tree dude. Wild forest of bamboo is naturalized. Yeah, there's a lot of it here too, Camels. Tons of it. Paul C. I just hope that people know that it can snow high in the mountains. It does, absolutely. No, it does. It actually snows on Haleakala, Paul C. on Maui. It can get cold up there too. Matter of fact, last February it snowed up on Haleakala. I got a good video of Wendy and I up on top of Haleakala, and it was so windy, and it was cool out up there too. And that was in November or December. It was my oldest dates. Oh, no way. Millipede. Darn it. And there is my pal Jane in Kapahulu on the island of Oahu. Aloha to Jane. Gotta love Jane. I'm just looking at some of my Hawaiian stuff. Isn't this a cool little box right there with the Hawaiian Islands on it? See that? Isn't that awesome? People bring me a lot of things from Hawaii. Kind of opens up. I don't know if it was a mint box or a match box, but it's kind of cool right there, eh? Isn't that cool? Hawaii. Aloha. It's got the islands on it. And it snows at 9,000 foot. That's right. Show you some of my Hawaii stuff here. There's another one here. I lost a bunch of my Hawaiian stamps. I'm looking for them right now. I can't show you that because it's got a Hawaiian hula girl on it. And yeah, and there's a little tiki carved out of bone right there. That's kind of cool, eh? So yeah, Jane, like Jane says, it does snow at high elevations on the Hawaiian Islands, up the Big Island, and on Maui. The next draw is the last Saturday of February, and I will be mailing off Logan's stuff tomorrow. I've got it all packaged up and ready to go. So the next draw is end of February. It is getting cold during the first week of February, or is it just me supposed to be? And 28. Well, it's not too bad. Could be worse, right? I don't see any cold weather for us up this way. I looked at the forecast. I really don't see anything like that up here for the Gulf Islands. Hey, Mighty Southwest, it's Palms, USA. Mighty Southwest. How you doing, man? Do you think yellow groove bamboo? It might freeze down, but you could try it, and maybe it'll come up from the roots again, Benjamin. We had lots of it growing here, man. You should see our bamboo collection. We have a ton of bamboo. Here's a joke about dates, and the only date that I can find are greenhouses. Weirdos laugh loud. The Canary Island date is awesome. It is an awesome palm, Paul C. Phoenix canariensis, I love. Camo, talk to that. My forecast calls 3. Yeah. Is it beat up, the neglecta? Yeah, they're a very hardy eucalyptus. You know what's hardier than a neglecta is Eucalyptus debusavilli. So if you guys are in cooler climates, in the south, you can get away with it. Anywhere in the north, you have to be above zone 8A. There's nowhere else in Canada that a eucalyptus tree will grow. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just reality, folks, okay? The only place eucalyptus trees will grow are on the Pacific coast of Canada. It just gets far too cold anywhere east of the coast. And I used to grow them in Langley, which was about 6 miles in from the ocean. And most other ones would freeze to the ground or get defoliated, the hardy ones. But snow gum, debusavilli, I managed to keep alive in a sheltered spot. Mighty Southwest, Palms USA changed its name. What? Palms USA, the Mighty Southwest. Oh, it's bent from the snow. Okay, cool. There's a big mature grove of them here, palm tree, dude. I have a video of them. They're probably, God, they got to be 30 feet tall. They're huge. Do you have any sable? No, I don't. And palms. I don't have any GD gardens. Martima. Nope, don't have any of those ones. Got a lot of sables in the greenhouse and a bunch in the ground, but not that one. Hey, have any of you guys heard of sable minor cross with Bermudana? I've never heard of that. Now, that fella named Bigfoot Squad said that's what grows on his Erie Island. What do you think? I don't know if I've never heard of that one before. Camel usually ends up. Polar vortex was supposed to come. Well, hopefully you guys will not get any polar vortex. Hey, how is your weather and temperature right now? Thanks, bro. Right now it's about 7.5 degrees here, Paul C, and the low temperature was 6.2 degrees Celsius. So it hasn't been that. It's been seasonal here. Seasonal here is around 8 degrees Celsius, and low temperature has actually been above seasonal for minimums. Low temperature should be, I think, around 2 degrees Celsius, something like that. So it's been above for the minimums. Daytime temperature has been pretty much bang on. It doesn't fluctuate that much here out in the Gulf Islands, Paul C. It's pretty steady. We don't have big temperature swings of ups and downs. Okay, it's pretty regulated by the ocean here. What about arbutus tree? Can you expect? No, it's only native to this part of Canada. They absolutely hate extreme cold, and they hate extreme heat and humidity. It's probably hardy to. I would say arbutus could probably take zone 7B. I bet something like that. I can't see it being much cold hardier than that. You could look it up. Yeah, I think Bigfoot. I watched the videos there, and I'm not really seeing any palmy plants there on Erie Island. I've never heard of it either. Sandor, sunny and cold. Sunny's good though, Paul. Sunny's cold, good. 1C's not so bad. Could be worse, palm tree dude. Welcome to temperature swing winter time. Yeah, we don't get that here. No temp swings. Dude, Bigfoot changed. Yeah, I know. It's a lot colder over there than it is here on those islands where he lives, I can tell you that. Apparently, he's got about 30 accounts. 30 YouTube accounts. Can you believe that? I can barely manage 3, and one of them's kind of like just sitting there. I don't even manage it anymore. My first YouTube channel from years ago is just kind of sitting there. I never upload on, do anything with it because I can't even. I forgot my password, and I forget it. So it's Jungle Joe C in this one, and 2 is good enough for me. Other channel, how are you? Well, I will try. You should try them. I guarantee they will not work there, though. They will. They're one of the Arbutus mainsaii or need exact requirements. They generally like to grow near the ocean. But I have seen them growing inland too. Where I lived in Langley, we had them. There were some good sized ones in Langley, 6 miles inland. In a bad winter, though, they would get damaged to foliage on them. I went to area. Yeah, I wonder. I really wonder about where he moves around a lot. That Bigfoot, apparently. Spring is about 6 or something like that. Oh God, Paul C, I can't wait till spring. Jane, Dodenia viscosa is a shrub that can be found at sea level to over 7,000 feet. Wow, got to be hardy, somewhat hardy. I'm not sure an arbutus would like this. No, it wouldn't like the winters, and it wouldn't like the summers. It would absolutely hate hot and humidity. It does not like that. It's a really kind of Mediterranean type tree. You should see Scots, like we have towering ones on our property. You ever visit here, Salt Spring Island, there's arbutus trees everywhere. You can go through forests of arbutus trees. We use them for firewood. I burnt some today. I used to live in New York City. Feel bad for my, yeah. Well, South Carolina is a lot milder than that. She couldn't load the street views. Yeah, I'm not seeing any tropical plants really where that person lives on those islands, Benjamin. Best might be so. Yeah, I guess so. I think southern Ohio is probably 7A. It's got to be, right? I'm guessing this very southern part of Ohio has got to be where it's near the Kentucky border, right? No, there's no way an arbutus tree will ever grow anywhere east, or same with Pacific wax myrtle. Another tree you'd really like that grows here on our coast is a broadleaf evergreen called Pacific wax myrtle. It is absolutely a beautiful, exotic looking tree, but it's native to here. And it's native to the Big Island on the west coast. We grow it in our garden too. Jane, it's a shrub that grows in dry climates and is native to lots of places. Hawaii. So it's worth a try, Jane, right? On Salt Spring Island. Benjamin, there is some 7A in Ohio, southern. That's what I thought. It can get cold in 7A. I couldn't handle the temps there coming from country that stays. 40C, man, that would be hot. 40C. I don't know if the lake, they can get ice. I think Camel, it can freeze for sure, but I don't know if it freezes every year. Somebody can find out, does the Lake Erie freeze every year? Where is the best? Well, you know what? They grow some nice palms in New Mexico. They grow Washingtonia flifera. There's camarops. There's trachys. They grow a lot of cool stuff in New Mexico. It's dry and cool there, but they also get the heat, and a lot of it's high elevation. Although Pittsburgh does have some things. Yeah, cool. And they get a lot of heat in Pittsburgh too. Lake Erie is only about 10% frozen. 10%. It's amazing that a big lake can freeze. It's pretty rare that you ever see ice on our lakes here. 2 to 3 years palms. It's 8B in some inhabited desert microclimates. Where's that, Benjamin? Palms. It's 8B in some uninhabited. Whereabouts? Where are you talking? 8B in Australia? I missed something. Where's it 8B, Benjamin? I'm curious. So anyway, yeah, our mountaintops have some snow on them here too, but they're up pretty high. And I bet you the lake is frozen up there too. Oh, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I've actually had seeds sent to me from there, from the Washingtonia flifera. And I've grown palms. I've grown a lot of palms from New Mexico. If the lake freezes, then it shouldn't heat up. Exactly. There's no regulating the air temperature once the water freezes. See, and that's the benefit, the advantage of being on an island in the Pacific Ocean. Our ocean doesn't freeze. So the ocean really never gets much colder than, say, 7.5 or 8 degrees Celsius in the worst winters. Dodenia viscosa is native to California, Arizona, Florida. Wow, it's amazing how many places that is. So is it flower, Jane? It must flower. I'm guessing it does. Jane, you missed the draw the other day. I didn't pull. Wendy pulled Logan's name out of the basket, out of the bucket. New Mexico gets a lot of sun. Yeah, it does. Exactly. And that's the thing. In the wintertime here, sun makes a difference. We don't get a lot of sun here in the wintertime. We get a lot less sun here in the wintertime. It's rare for it to completely freeze over. Yeah, Sam, but I think it has completely froze over at times. Yeah, Jane definitely knows her plants. That's why when Wendy and I go back to Oahu, we're going to meet Jane and take her to Murakami Udon Noodle. Colorful, and it has wings like a maple tree, right? Like an acer, right, Jane? Because it will always warm up after cold shot, 40 to 50. Cool. I love a warm up after a cold snap. I'll tell you, when the temperature is back on the rise, I got to look at our forecast, see if we got any snow in there. I use the 7 days. So if you ever want to know what it's doing here, you look at the 7-day Southern Gulf Island forecast, but give or take, depending on your location. Let's see. I really don't. I'm going to show you our forecast, folks. Here's our forecast. This is our forecast for the Southern Gulf Islands right there. That's it. That's our forecast right there. We have our own forecast. We're different than Vancouver and Victoria. We get sun pretty much all. Yeah, that's great where you guys are. It's like Florida. Our summers, our spring and summers are very, very dry and up into the fall. And the rainy season can actually start sometimes in October. And November can be very wet, minus 12 here. So that's 10 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. That's getting down there, man. And hopefully you don't have any wind. And colder in Florida, though. Wendy's listening to Eckhart Tolle, I can hear. I'm growing Dodinia visca. How does it do where you are, Jane? Pretty good? 6C. It's 6C. So that's not too bad. We're basically around the same temp there, Camo. And it's mild in winter. I like mild winters. You know what I mean? I was born and raised on the coast, so I've never experienced anything colder than what we get here, really. Stay warm, Garden of Twitty. Yes, you too. 1C. Well, 1C is above freezing, Sam, which is a good thing. So 1C is about 33 degrees, 34 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So for people that don't really know Celsius, 0C is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Native, where I'm growing is in native habitat. Oh, that's cool, Jane. So it's native to Oahu, on Oahu. Is the fish blood and good for, oh yeah, Dylan Kelly, for sure. Fish meal, all that stuff. Seaweed, you betcha. Fish fertilizer, 33 right now. Well, Sam, you know what? This is the way I see it. It could be worse. So 33 is not that bad. Igloos help you keep warm. Well, a lot of people in the Deep South think we are in igloos up here, right? And there ain't no igloos anywhere near us, I will tell you that. -6. So -6 is about 21 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I think something like that. Or maybe 20.5, something like that. There's an online conversion I actually use sometimes. It actually really helps. So I guess a lot of you guys have weather stations, right? And I do it. I log it every day. I look at the weather station. So I got the sensors in remote sensors in Stevenson screens. So it's pretty accurate in there. Might damage some sables. Depends. I don't think sable miner is going to be bothered. Camel is there. Spanish moss. Dodinia is very windy. So what was the cold hardiness on that, Jane? Sables would be fine in that unless, yeah, if they're in pots, be careful. Big Stack, -16 here near Ottawa. Big Stack 171 is a hardcore Canadian because anyone that can handle -16 is a tough person that lives in the Great White North. And as long as there's no wind with that, it probably wouldn't be so bad, I guess. Spanish moss, there's moss here, but I don't know the type. There's a moss that hangs from the tree here. It's not a moss, it's actually a lichen. I think it's called witch's hair. And it looks like Spanish moss, kind of. Briar Island has cool summers, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if they would work there or not. Somebody's going to try one. But they're one of the most difficult trees to transplant. Did you know that, Benjamin? They absolutely hate root disturbance. You can take a little baby tree like that, and you better take a giant root ball with it, because if any of the roots get hit with a shovel, it'll die. You can't just pull them out. Most of them grow in rock. That's the problem with Arbutus mintzesii, Pacific madrona. Watch my videos on them. You'll see these things growing in solid rock. It's insane. Massive trees. They just cut down a huge one. We're making a new pathway near town, and they just cut down a huge one there Friday. I grow them from seed. Yeah, I grow them from seed. They self-seed all over the place here. The biggest ones on our property are probably pushing 120 feet tall. Can Japanese maple take full sun in a temperate climate? Here they burn when it gets too hot. It's better to put them in partial shade. Wind, Japanese maples, Acer macro or Acer palmatum. Minus 20. Oh, the wind. Yeah. It makes it feel cold, big stack. Whole forest with Spanish moss and creek. That's cool. That's awesome, Palms. I will have to look up Bermuda grass here. Which is more cold hardy? I would say Phoenix canariensis. Phoenix sylvestris is pretty hardy too, but Phoenix canariensis can take a wetter climate, I think. A wetter, cooler climate. Lots of huge ones down on the Oregon coast. Spanish moss also grows in Seattle. I know a guy that grows it there. Yeah, canariensis for sure. Dodinia is hardy to zone 8. So you know what? Jane, it may work here in a sheltered spot since the houses are probably mostly. Yeah, I wonder. Benjamin, I can survive. I can survive to minus 10C. You can. That's pretty good. So you got to try some arbutus then, Benjamin, when you move to Briar Island. Bought my first Pindo today. Yeah. I'm never been impressed with Pindo palms in our garden. They are prone to center spear loss for some weird reason. Yet there are some very nice ones on our coast in select areas. On the mainland, there's some nice ones, but in 2008, they bit the big one. But there's big ones on Salt Spring Island and parts of Vancouver Island that were fine in 2008. I think Sylvestris is more cold hardy. It's more cold hardy. It's like a dactylifera, right? Very cold hardy, but it likes dry climate. I wasn't expecting this live stream to go so long. We're 32 minutes into it. Our B&B guest is gone, thank God. And so we got a good live stream going on right now. It's not cutting out on me. The B&B guest, like I said, works for Hydro. He's staying here for just about a month. And if his work continues, he'll have to rebook again. But what they do, they come over working for Hydro and they test the power poles. They drill into the power poles and they put a solution in them to preserve them longer. So there you go. But there's some big Pindo palms in the UK. Some big ones in Ireland too. So anyway, yeah. So when the B&B gets here and he's on the internet, it kind of messes it for me. But he left early today. The Newfoundland South Peninsula said to be 6 and some hardy. It is mild in some parts of Newfoundland, but they sure get a lot of snow there. The only place here that Pindos. Yeah, there are some nice ones here, and the nicest ones actually are near the ocean. Palm tree dude. Common name of Dodinium is hopseed. Oh, I've heard of hopseed, Jane. Cool. I just searched up swamps and river ponds, camel. How's the shed coming along? Well, we haven't actually started on it. Sandor, I'm just cutting wood. So I just cut down another big tree yesterday. I cut down a super tall Douglas fir yesterday, and I was out carving a tiki today, so it took me away from cutting down another 75-foot Dougie fir. So next weekend I'm going to cut down another one, but Wendy's got a plan to make a shed. You know, Wendy's a good builder. Wendy loves to build. You'll see what I mean when you get here. You should see the outhouse she built, man. It's crazy. It's cool. Is Ireland's and New Zealand's climate? I think, well, Ireland's milder. Ireland would be milder than New Zealand, except the south end. So the north end of South New Zealand would be milder. And if you get to the South Island, there's probably areas that are pretty similar to Ireland in New Zealand. What is sold? Be a lot of different subs. What is? Yes, it is. Well, they call it Butia odorata, Pindo palm, Butia capitata. Butia aerospatha grows well here too. I dug out a big one years ago and we transplanted. He took it to his garden in Victoria and it's doing well. It was a big one. He planted it as a baby and it got big at Grace Point. Warmer. Yeah, New Zealand does have warmer parts. Am I allowed to live in B&B 70-year-old? Going to plant some mules. I am allowed to live in the B&B for 70 years. 70 years. You better talk to Wendy. That's going to be a lot of rent at $200 a night. You better just buy a house. How dare you cut down that tree, Doug? How dare you cut down that tree? I cut down a lot of trees. You know, I'm heating my house right now. I got few chainsaws, and I use them a lot. Pindo is grown. I always see forestry as a renewable resource. It keeps people employed too, right? And my house is made out of wood. I got a lot of things made out of wood around me. Are there any in Charlotte? West coast of Ireland? Yeah, Cork. And I think Limerick. I think down where Adara is pretty mild. Yeah, there's some big Pindos, TTLFC. There's some big ones. Yeah, Wendy wants to cut down some really big. Wendy gets a lot of big trees cut down every year. So I'm talking 120-foot Douglas firs. We get the arborist in, and she cuts them down, and we make firewood out of them. Are there any in Charlotte? Replace those magnolias with stone pines. I love magnolias. Actually, I'd replace the stone pines with magnolias. They're native sphagnum moss. Is there really? Cool. We got a lot of that here. Oh yeah, there's been wildfires here in the Gulf Islands. I've seen them. I remember one time there was about a 5-acre one burning up on Channel Ridge, and they had the helicopter over with the bucket. So the helicopter was taken out of a pond around the backside from us. So we landed the helicopter in the field, and he wanted one of his doors off. So we helped him take the door off, and the bucket holds 120 gallons. And he'd fly over and drop it, and they did get it out. It was caused by hikers. Careless hikers. But yeah, and I've seen another fire on Galiano one time years ago. And yeah, there's been fires up in the mountains, careless people hiking. Yeah, there's one actually not too far from us. So the summertime I actually dread here because it's high risk forest fire season. And it is scary. You got to remember, Salt Spring Island's only about 45,000 acres or so. Wouldn't take much to burn it up. They would, but they put them out fast. That's the thing. They could spread. Thank God we don't usually have a lot of wind here. But if there's wind in a forest fire, oh man, it's scary. But it's pretty rare that we ever have wildfires here, believe it or not. And why there are trees that deserve to be cut down and removed from the forest. Those trees are, yeah, they're weeds, right, Jane? Hey, Jane, I heard Tibuchina is really bad there. Is that true? Tibuchina flower, princess flower. I heard it's a weed in parts of Hawaii. Is that true or not? You are right. They spread fast because flat. Yeah, exactly. So flat here. It's like a pancake. We have brush fires occasionally. Yeah. There was one down the road from me about 20 years ago. A guy threw a cigarette out the window, and the neighbor down the road caught it when she's coming home from work at night. Would Phoenix Air survive Southern Ontario with major winter protection, Greg? Major winter protection. Yeah, and the problem is it gets so big, I don't know how you protect it. They got a massive crown on them. Yeah, they burned those ones up down in California, the Washingtonias in the desert, and they all came back. Maybe there's too many weeds to notice. Yeah, I heard there are Tibuchina growing in places that can be weed-like. And it's pretty rare that we get lightning here, Palm Tree Dude. It's very rare that anything would be started from lightning here because we don't get lightning storms here. Far and few between. If we do get one, I'm out there with my camera because I love a lightning storm, so it's very rare that you ever get a thunder and lightning storm here on Salt Spring Island. It's one thing we really don't get in hail. It's another thing you really don't see much here is hail. Can Dixonia Antarctica take full sun? Yeah, Dylan, mine takes full afternoon sun. It does actually, and it's been in that. It used to get a lot more shade, but a couple of the trees that were shading it came down. There was a Douglas. No, it wasn't. It was a Douglas fir and a hemlock, and they came down. So now it gets full afternoon sun, and it's fine. It's got to water it more. You need a major protection to do that. Benjamin Burma is 6B according to some maps. Arbutus trees would have no chance because, yeah, and they don't like cold wind, Benjamin. I will tell you one thing. Arbutus trees hate cold wind, but monkey puzzle. You know what? I'll tell you something. In the winter of 1989 here, February 4th, 89, we had a really bad cold snap. And the arbutus trees all over the island were damaged. It got down to minus 11 or minus 12 degrees Celsius. And the arbutus trees looked like crap. The leaves were all crispy brown on most of them. And that's only at around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Clademia is one of the most invasive plants. It is. Wonder how it got over there. Obviously, man brought it, right, Jane? But Briar Island is possible. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think arbutus would actually grow there myself. I think a monkey puzzle would probably make it out there, but I don't know. I don't know if arbutus is too finicky. I think because Ericaria ericana, monkey trees, less finicky, and arbutus is super finicky, man. Look up arbutus mainsaisii, Pacific madrona. It does need exact requirements to grow. Where is my Western Garden Encyclopedia? Let me tell you something, folks. You better to try. Well, arbutus Unido compacta is less finicky, but there's a lot of those that grow in our town too. I don't know how they work too for transplanting. Okay, guys. Arbutus. Let me just see here. Arbutus. Arbutus. I'm looking. There's monkey tree. Arbutus. Okay, arbutus Mintzii. Pacific madrona. Evergreen tree, large shrub. This is what it says in the Western Garden Book. Zones 3 to 7, 14 to 19, native to British Columbia to Southern California, coast ranges occasionally in middle elevation, Sierra Nevada. So it will be found inland. Mature height, 20 to 100 feet. Forms broad, round head almost as wide as tall and grows. And if you live in Madrona country and have a tree in your garden,